All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for Monday, the 20th of August, 2018. Today is a 3-day numerologically, so it's about unification and wholeness. 3 is also catalytic. So it tends to bring about things, and as a Monday, maybe we're going to start something new this week. But we'll see what the cards have to say on that. And then what the rune has to inform us, forming the whole process. For those of you who haven't been here before, I typically shuffle a little bit, and then when I feel ready, I go ahead and I pull a card, and then if it's a court card, I'll pull another one. Because court cards, you know, they can mean the person on the that's being depicted on the face of the card, or it can mean the qualities therein. So you never really know. So that's why I typically pull another card. The rune can sometimes give us all we need, but I just like to do another card. Sometimes I do them just because I want to know more. So, but typically, I'll pull one and then I'll pull a rune to see what it has to say. But as always, it depends on the cards. All right, let's count 13 and see what we have for today. Oh, we have the 3 of Cups. It's kind of chilly out this morning. We have had a lot of smoke. The sun was, it's out and everything, but it's basically red. Although it's funny, if I take a picture of it with my phone, it turns out white, and then the surrounding sky looks kind of pinkish. It's kind of interesting. I can't get the sun being blood red from all the fire smoke that's out there. So we have the 3 of Cups. Cups is emotions. It's a water element. So it's about change. And here we have, though, 3 friends together in celebration, holding their chalices high in the air. They look like they might even be dancing about in a circle. It reflects abundance and success and balance and celebration. But basically, it means our mind, body, and spirit is in alignment, which is really good. You know, sometimes some of the things I pull, they don't necessarily portend something that's positive. So it's nice to start, you know, the week off with something a little more positive than what we've been getting. It may just be that it's not an external thing, that it may just be that our inner self is we're beginning the week aligned, which is nice. Let's do another card, though, just to know a little more. I have my older son with a birthday coming up. He's going to be 38 years old. The other one turns 36 in October. And my husband and I have been married for 39 years. So next May, we celebrate the big 4-0. Seems to be somewhat rare these days that couples have only been married one time. But that's okay. You know, sometimes you don't find the right person right off the bat. Sometimes you are too young, maybe, or, you know, things just happen, and maybe you have more than one partner in your life. Let's see what this other one has to say. We'll do 13 again. Ah, the Sun. The 19th card, which corresponds to a numerologically of 1. I can't talk today, Monday. But 19 would be 9 and 1 is 10, and that reduces to 1. So that's new beginnings. So maybe what we have here is new beginnings in terms of friendship or some kind of collective purpose. Or maybe we've just made some changes within and we're a little more settled and more balanced today. So that's kind of cool. But I like this one. I grow a lot of sunflowers, so whenever I see sunflowers on a card, I've been growing those multi-headed ones. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. I have one out by the cannabis plants, and it's like, oh my gosh, it must be 20 feet tall. I mean, we haven't measured it. We haven't done that, but I'll bet it's 20 feet tall, and it's just got a ton of heads on top of it. And the cool part is it was a volunteer from last year. Only I don't think I've ever had a sunflower quite that tall. I've had some really tall ones, but not like that. And it looks cool over there. So this year we did some companion planting. I put some burdock over there and some borage and a whole bunch of marigold that I planted from seed. I put some basil, and I think I also put, oh yeah, I put some bronze fennel over there. Now, the thing about cannabis, I know there's somebody that says that, oh, if you put bees around them, your bees will have cannabis honey. That's not true. Um, bees are going to get maybe they might take the resin off of it. They're probably going to take the leaf wax and things like that. But there's no pollen like that. There's no nectar type stuff. There's none of that. We have bees. That's just not true. If you're going to make cannabis infused honey, if you want your honey to have cannabis in it, then you have to actually do that. You have to infuse it. It's not going to do it with the bees. That's not what they're there to get. And that's not how honey is made. So whereas it's certainly healthy for them to forage on cannabis plants, and we do see our bees on our cannabis plants, particularly when they're in bud, but they're also on it when they're just leafing, when they're just in the leaf growth part, in veg. So, oh, Laguz, keeping with the water element. Laguz is nice. Laguz is easy. It's about change, but it's about making things flow better. And here we see where things are flowing very well, aren't they? And here with the sun, it also implies success and abundance and all of that. So things are flowing nicely. And so this reinforces that. So today, Laguz is telling us that we're going to be flowing very well, hopefully. And or at least that ought to be our goal. If it's not, what's happening for us, then it's like saying, hey, let's align today, okay? And try to stay inward, and maybe if you can't express yourself in joy and abundance with others, then at least try to align within so that you can. But it seems to me like today, even though it's smoky and the sun's out there, you can't really see it because there's smoke everywhere. So we won't do this for very long today because I need to go back in. Anyway, let's see, we're only at about 8 minutes, so I think we can talk a little bit more. But Laguz is the 21st rune of the Elder Futhark. So that actually aligns with the threes. 2 and 1 is 3, so numerologically it's a 3. And that aligns with today's unity and wholeness and catalytic energy and all of that. So, you look at the sun, and that's also catalytic energy. So basically, the other part of Laguz is about gathering energy back. One of the things that I talked about in When Vampires Attack, that's the most recent book I did. What that is about vampiric energy and the different types of people that embody this. I kind of took a psychological approach. I have a degree in psychology, so I looked at it from the standpoint of narcissism and passive aggression and all of that. But one of the things I talked about is how do you deal with bringing your energy back when we look at something, when we think about something, when we engage with something, we create an energetic channel with whatever or whoever it is that we're engaging with. And so in order to, some people call it cutting cords. I don't. I call it dissolve. I prefer to just think of them as dissolving. I don't like the idea of cutting connection with people. I like the idea of just letting things dissolve naturally. And with Laguz, you can chant Laguz and visualize that occurring, and the effect is that you draw your energy back. The other thing is that Laguz kind of looks like a hook. And what they look at, and what witches think about that is they consider that as as like the magical net to gather back energies. So that's another way to look at it. So you can think of laguz and think it hooking your and visualize it hooking your energy and bringing it back to you. When we align in our own source presence, that's basically what we're doing. But in order to do that, we have to bring all those energies back inward, don't we? Whatever we extend out, we have to bring back in. And so I think the other aspect of laguz is it allows you the time to think and come to center and really think rationally about if you have to make a decision, for example. Maybe you're just not clear about it. And so you need to pull inward. And that's basically what laguz is telling us to do, the value of, of taking that time to pull inward, gather those energies back to you, and see what you can do from there. See what you can invoke from there. With today being a 3-day, we are talking about when an energy is catalytic, we're talking about how we're going to invoke that will. So it's almost like what laguz is suggesting, that before we go out and invoke our will all over the place, maybe we need to just draw back and take stock and pull inward and gather those energies back so that we can then proceed from the standpoint of clarity and alignment. And from there, anything is possible, isn't it? And with laguz, it's also telling us, use your intuition. If you know something, know it. Be confident of what you know. That inner voice tells us all we really need to know about things. There's times when I can just be walking along and it'll be like, okay, do this, turn here. And every time I don't listen to it, something happens. So, I think that there's a value to that. And laguz is basically telling us that. And then the Three of Cups is telling us to integrate that mind, body, spirit connection, isn't it? And then with the Sun, then it's telling us that if we do that, then abundance is ours, isn't it? So while unity with others is nice and preferable to chaos and conflict, ideally, though, it's the unity within. It all begins there. Without that fundamental unity inside, then I don't know how we go out into the world and be effective, and I don't know how we're happy. I don't know any of that. So I think that that's really the key for today and probably for the rest of our lives. Stay aligned, stay centered, begin there, and then abundance and happiness and joy naturally follow. So, well, I'm going to go back in and maybe drink some, homemade breathe easy tea. And maybe I'll run over there and get some anise hyssop before I do that, and try to clean all this stuff out of my lungs that I've been breathing in. Anyway, hopefully, the fires will subside and people will be able to breathe again, and Oregon won't be socked in with smoke. So if you're suffering from that, again, nice cleansing teas, dandelion, chickweed, cleavers, anise hyssop for a little bit of easy breathing. And horsetail, another one that's good to use. Scrub all that stuff out so that you can breathe again. And stay hydrated, stay inside. Try not to go out if you can. You can all help it because this is not healthy. So anyway, have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow, and blessed be.